It's time now for the KC Ingram Show on WSTU. The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not necessarily those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time to call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. And now, here's KC Ingram.
Tired of lines at the boat launch, sun damage, or not using your boat because of the hassle? Call Meridian Marina and Yacht Club because we do all the work so you can enjoy your boating lifestyle. Restore your boat inside, launch it with a wash with just 30 minutes notice, and rinse it down before putting it back. We do the work so you can enjoy your day on the water. Call us up at 772-221-8198. That's 221-8198. Or visit us online at meridianmarina.com for more information. Also, we want to remind everybody you can sign up for a weekly notification of who the special weekly guest will be at the kcingramshow.com. It'll pop right up. And if you don't see it in your email box, check your spam folder. Sometimes it goes there. So that's at the kcingramshow.com, a special email blast of the weekly guest. And this week's weekly guest is going to be here shortly. EJ Duane is with the Martin County Fair pageant series, and she is going to be in the studio letting us know who won the pageant, telling us all about it, but she's a little delayed in traffic. So before we get talking about the fair, I also want to remind everybody to ask your senator and House representative to support Florida Senate Bill 204 and House Bill 651. Many nurses are being assigned too many patients to care for, especially in critical care units. Seconds count, and with too many patients, it may be you or your loved one who pays the ultimate price with their life. Let's put patients and nurses above profits. Here are a couple of comments from nurses dealing with this issue every day. I work in healthcare. I see the work overload on a daily basis. We are human and mistakes happen when too many patients are the responsibility of one person. When nurses are assigned more, they skip lunch, bathroom, and push themselves trying to give quality care to other humans. Let's make quality care, not cost care, the priority. Another says, I've been an RN for 56 years and I've had as many as 16 total care patients to care for in one shift. This definitely affects safety and quality of care we give our patients. For more information about this critical issue, visit nursestakeflorida.com. Again, that's nursestakeflorida.com. This week in the fair, be sure to run out there. And hello, EJ. EJ's just joining us. You can get settled, but we're going over the fair. This is really a historic time, folks. This is the time when you can say, I remember when the fair was in Stuart, because this is the last year that the fair is in Stuart. It's moving out to Indiantown. So be sure to get out there this week. Really, it's a special time. Today is $12 Tuesday. You get ride bands for $12. Gate admission is $5. Unless you bring 2 cans of non-perishable foods, then it's just $2. Also, big shout out to our veterans. Thank you so much for your service. And as a thank you, the first 250 will receive free admission and entrance to a barbecue that is sponsored by Humana, and that runs from 6 to 8 p.m. this evening. Again, thank you, veterans. Tomorrow is Dollar Day. It's Wednesday Dollar Day, $1 admission, $1 for every ride. And don't forget, Kiss America will be in the concert on Thursday, February 20th, and Journey Tribute, Never Stop Believin', Friday, February 21st. So a lot of great things happening at the fair. And of course, go out and check out those 4-H projects that are out there as well. And finally, I want to remind everybody there's a 3D archery shoot to benefit Martin County 4-H, and that's Saturday, March 7th. And that's at the Timer Powers Park in Indiantown. So if you want to have some more information about that, 419-6965. Again, that's 772-419-6965. We had Natalie Parkell in the studio last week, and she'll be more than happy to help you out a little bit more and tell you some more about that 3D archery shoot coming up. So EJ, so very nice to see you, and what an exciting week it has been. The big opening night at Friday on the fair, the 14th, Valentine's Day. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, hi. We had a great time. We had a great turnout. The weather was a little iffy, but we were fortunate to have a great crowd come and stick around, not just for the opening ceremony and the scholarship awards, but also the Miss Martin County Fair pageant that followed and really kicked everything off. So everything went great. Thank you. We ended up with the top 5 and our new Miss Martin County Fair queen, Sophia Pratt, and they're getting ready for the steer show this evening as we speak.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. How many contestants did you end up having?
So we ended up having 10 this year. we had 10 contestants, and they all participate in an interview segment, as well as on-stage questions. So we're really proud to provide those opportunities for them to hone those skills that a lot of them haven't yet experienced in the real world. So that's something we really drive home, is that you're going to feel so much more confident when you embark on those internship interviews and those first job interviews as they come up. So
Absolutely. It's a really good experience. And public speaking in general, it's tough to speak in front of crowds sometimes. So what a great
Absolutely.
experience. And walking across the stage.
Right.
So-
They all did a great job. We're very proud of all of them.
So how old do they have to be to enter the pageant?
So they're all high school freshmen, sophomore, and juniors. And this year we were fortunate to have all of the local high schools represented.
Wonderful.
So it was a great just portrayal, not just of the high schools, but all of the programs and sports even that the girls participate in. And so they're all very busy and ambitious and talented. And so it's great to hear all of those things that they're involved in. And really any of them would have been a great candidate as a fair representative, because they are true, just, great representation of what the county offers and just the schools here in the county.
So EJ, you're the pageant coordinator. So tell us,
Yes.
what does that entail?
Sure. So I'm the pageant coordinator of our committee, which makes up of several of us young ladies that have grown up at the fair. And all of us have actually participated in the Miss Martin County Fair pageant when we were of high school age. So it's very special to
It
us.
was just a couple of years ago. Come
Yeah.
on.
So it's something that's very special to us, and we want to see it do well and to continue, because we know what it provides these young women. So we meet throughout the year to strategize and to plan and to really make it the best program that we can provide for them. And the feedback that we've gotten over the years has been really great. And then that's why we continue to do it and just are passionate the way we are about it.
Well, it's a very important program. And that's something, when you think about the Martin County Fair, everybody, of course, thinks about rides and, corn dogs and elephant ears and all that first, but there's so much more that goes on with the fair. And certainly last week we had Mabel and Evelyn Howen, and they were talking about some of the animals they've shown. This year they have steers and heifers, but over the years they've shown pretty much everything that you can see there. And there's just so much more. There's STEM projects and sewing and all this stuff. So one thing we hadn't focused on previously was this pageant.
Mhm.
And honestly, that's a really, really great opportunity for these young ladies. Tell us
Thank you.
what the pageant means, if they should win, or what's it's a scholarship pageant. So tell us what that means.
It is. So they are our fair ambassador. At the end of the day, they are not just representing the fair and everything that means during Fair Week, but also throughout the year. So they'll take part in a lot of the other festivals that take place in the county, as well as other community events. A lot of these young women are already very involved in the community in different volunteering capacities. So it's really up to them how they want to promote their platform that they may already be involved in, and just to really have the fair's backing and continuing that. They also get the opportunity to advance to the Miss Teen Florida USA pageant, which is a really big deal because it's another huge scholarship opportunity. So we've been very fortunate that since we've made that opportunity available to our winners, that most of them have been placed in the top 15, and that's out of like 50 or 60 girls on occasion. And again, that's like a huge weekend-long pageant that is very rigorous in their interview process, as well as just what they have to go through on stage and the questions and everything. So it's just more practice, really, and just more opportunities for them to promote what's important to them, and to hone those skills. So we're happy to provide that through our program if they choose, and to allow them to experience other things that they might not have otherwise in what they were currently doing in high school. So.
Do they need to be a 4-H member to participate?
No, absolutely not. They just have to be residents of Martin County. So that's really the only requirement. And what we tell them is, because a lot of the girls that participate in our pageant, which we're very proud of, it's their first time doing something like this. So we tell them, don't be intimidated, don't be afraid. It takes a lot of guts and courage to get up on stage and to talk about yourself. But at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. You're having a conversation about yourself, and you're the expert on that topic. So you can kind of see them, lighten up a little and not take things so seriously when you kind of explain it that way. And I'm kind of the timekeeper for all the interviews, and it's really refreshing to sit in and to actually hear how well they do in the interview portion. We have 5-minute long interviews with an interview panel, and then it's a different panel of judges on the night of the fair pageant where they're answering on stage questions. But I always enjoy hearing how involved they are in the community and what's important to them. And they're also very ambitious with their goals, after high school and beyond. So I love it. We hear all the time in the news about, millennials, this and that, but being able to be a part of this program is it's refreshing in a sense that I get to see what these active young women in the community are doing. There's none of those stereotypes, and I love showcasing that.
And I agree with you so much. When we had Mabel and Evelyn in here last week, we asked, what time do you get up in the morning? They're 5 a.m. to get their chores done, take care of their animals. Then they're to school. Then they have to come back after school, take care of their animals. And oftentimes it's late in the evening before they can get back to sleep.
A lot of responsibility.
It's not what the typical millennial does.
No, not at all. It's honing those responsibilities and just, having to be accountable for something and for, an animal that is dependent on you, you know? Right. So it's and like you said, it's also, outside of the livestock projects as well. We had a lot of participants, not just in the pageant, but a lot of our scholarship recipients even, which are required to be involved in the fair in some capacity. But a lot of them range from having been involved in some of the arts and crafts projects. Some of them have been involved in some of the Battle of the Bands or talent shows. So, and that just speaks to all the different aspects that the fair is comprised of, and just the variety of things that you can enjoy there.
So the girls that are thinking about possibly joining this pageant in future years, you said there's a 5-minute interview. What types of information or what areas do you focus on in those interviews?
Sure. So we give them a questionnaire when they register to compete, and it's a questionnaire about themselves. It's asking, what do you want to do after school? What are you doing now in school? What do you play any sports? Are you involved in any organizations or communities that you like to volunteer for? Do you like to travel? Just random things, because they might not think that that's interesting about themselves, but it really is. And once you kind of spark that fire, to hear them be able to elaborate and to talk on those things is really neat. So half of the questions come from information provided from that questionnaire. So that kind of breaks the ice and allows them to talk about things that they're familiar with. And then the other half of the interview are just general questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or what's your biggest fear? Or what characteristic would you pick in someone as a winner of this pageant? Things like that just make you think on your feet. And it always impresses me with the answers that they're able to deliver. And so I'm
what portion of that is the total score of the pageant?
So the interview is about 40% of the pageant, and then the rest is made up of the on-stage questions, where again it's comprised of questions about themselves, but then also kind of out-of-the-box questions. And then so the top 5 scores are what makes up our top 5 winners. And so from there, they're all given the same question. And that's kind of fun because a lot of people think, well, if they have to go first and the other girls are going to hear, and that kind of gives them an advantage. Right. But we actually put them in a camper backstage with sound canceling headgear so that they aren't privy to the question that's being asked on stage. So it's kind of like a clean slate at that point, and they're just being scored on how they answer that top 5 question, which is the same. And this year it was about generational differences, because we hear about it a lot in the news and everything. And so it was really just asking them what they think older generations could learn from theirs. And they all had great answers and why they feel that way. So that was a good way to kind of determine our winner and through 4th runner-up.
Wonderful. So that second interview is very important, as is the first interview. So the first interview kind of gets you in the top 5. Mm-hmm. And then the second interview, you said there's more than one question. So it sounds like there's one question that's the same, but there's another question, it sounds like, on stage where maybe you're drawing from questions? Or
Well, right. So the top 5 question is the same question that's been predetermined, but it hasn't been asked really to anybody previously in the interviews. So it's completely new to them. They haven't heard it before, and is really how we determine our winner.
So I want to hear a little bit more about some of the other events that they'll be attending now that Sophia is queen. Mm-hmm. But tell us, do you know anybody from the past pageants? Where have they gone?
Sure. So actually it was really neat because last year was the fair's 60th anniversary. And so to commemorate that, our pageant night judging panel consisted of mostly past Miss Martin County fairs. And some of them were Miss Martin County fairs that I remembered watching when I was, in middle school. And I just thought, wow, that's really neat. And that's what inspired me to do it, because some of them were fair kids that, participated in the livestock shows, or maybe that I knew, from cheerleading at school, or even that did ROTC. So we had a couple of our judges as past winners. I know that the girl that won, I'm a former Miss Martin County Fair. I should probably mention that.
We have a Queen Monster.
The girl that won before me, she's a local physician. So So we're proud of all past
That's right.
winners. They've all contributed to the county and especially to the fair in one way or another that we're very proud of.
A bunch of achievers is what it
Yes,
sounds like for certain.
absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about the events that Sophia can look forward to here this coming year.
So she will be finishing out this week at the fair, which will keep her very busy. And so next up, there's a few festivals that take place this fall that she'll be able to look forward to, and including the Christmas parades. We always like to have the fair represented, so she'll look forward to being a part of that. The Miss Teen USA event will not be until next spring, so she'll have plenty of time to prepare and kind of hone those interview skills for that. But really, we like to put it in their court and make it about them and what they want to get involved in. One year, Jordan Bissett was our winner the first year that my committee took over the Miss Martin County Fair pageant. And she was very passionate about Surfers for Autism. So she sort of made that her personal platform and just used her title to really promote that any way she could. So it's really up to the girls as to how they want to use their platform and get involved in the community with their title.
So do they all have a platform, or that's also up to them?
It's up to them. I mean, kind of in interviewing them and hearing what they speak passionately about, we sort of figure out really quickly what they enjoy, and it just kind of points them on that track. But a lot of them, which is again refreshing, are already involved in a lot of great social platforms that they are just able to take advantage of with this title and get even more involved in.
So who funds the scholarship?
So we've got a lot of great donors that are very generous in their scholarship donations that builds up the bulk of our budget. And this year, I challenged our Martin County Fair Board of Directors to help me ensure that we could increase our scholarship budget to $20,000. So that was the big campaign, $20,000 in 2020. And so we're fortunate to have our sponsors that have contributed over the years, as well as some new ones, donate funds to that budget. And the board held true to their word and ensured that we had that increased budget of $20,000. So it was a very proud night Friday, not just being able to, host the pageant, but also to kick it off with awarding 16 scholarship recipients with scholarships.
16.
So, yeah.
So you helped 16 different girls.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me.
Well, and that's boys and girls. That's all high schoolers.
Only 10 participants. So the scholarship goes beyond the pageant.
Oh, yes. Our scholarship is open to anybody that attends a school in Martin County that is a high school senior. And they just have to fill out our application, which just verifies a lot of that stuff and what they do in school and what their plans are after school. This year was very exciting because we also extended the eligibility to include not just college, but vocational and technical schools, if that's what they wanted to embark on. Mm-hmm. So we were really proud to kind of update our rules to allow that. So, but again, that's open to all the high school seniors. The local schools in Martin County really helped us out in getting word out and promoting that because we did have an increased budget and we also allowed now that broader eligibility. So yeah, any high school students every year, we have those scholarships available for them to apply for.
So Miss Martin County Fair, is that a separate scholarship? The
Miss Martin County Fair is a separate scholarship. Our winner gets a $1,000 scholarship just for winning that title. But once she, like I said, Sophia's a junior this year. So even next year as a senior, she can apply again for just the general fair scholarship now that she's been involved in the fair and can apply for that as well. So
the general fair scholarship is for seniors only?
Correct.
Okay. And when do they need to apply for that?
So the applications for that usually go out around August, and the high schools really do a great job in promoting that as well. So our winners for the fair were recognized Friday night prior to the pageant, and then we'll also be recognizing it again at their respective high school ceremonies in the spring.
So folks, this is a really big deal. Again, the fair is moving out to Indiantown, and we are trying to showcase and highlight these last couple of weeks a lot of the great things that Martin County Fair does. It is broad reaching. It's certainly helping our youth for greater opportunity in the future, educational opportunities. And, as we said last week, right here in the county, we have Commissioner Stacy Hetherington. We have Commissioner Harold Jenkins. They're past 4-H members. Mm-hmm. So 4-Hers, they often will go out and do wonderful and great things. And I can't remember if it was Mabel or Evelyn wanted to come back and teach. So, it's one of those things that really should help people. And, reach out to Jay Spicer at the Martin County Fair. They're needing help to move out to that new location in Indiantown. We need to raise more funds. And that's going to be an agriplex.
Yes.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about it? I can tell you're excited looking at your face. This
So
is a
excited. It'll
huge
just
move.
allow for so many more opportunities for us to expand, not just as a fair, but what we can provide for our community throughout the year. I think right now we're just a bit limited because of the space that we've had to utilize, at our current location. So really the sky's the limit out there. And so to have the community support and the commissioner's support has been really huge. And we just hope that continues so that it can just be the best Agriplex possible.
Well, you can really see a lot of these programs growing through that new location because it is such a large location and involving even more, sports and activities. I think that they said there's a soapbox derby coming in, and of course there's going to be equestrian trails out there. It's really a wonderful opportunity to grow everything.
Space. Absolutely.
Yes. Let me head back to that scholarship for just one moment. What do you base the award of the scholarship on, the senior scholarship?
Well, they have to write an essay as to why they feel they're deserving of the scholarship and also touch on how they've been involved in the fair. And so I have a scholarship committee that reviews all of those applications and scores them accordingly. But it's really just, what speaks to them and how they've been involved in the fair that really determines who should be eligible for those scholarship awards.
Do grades come into factor?
They do. We ask about that. It's not a standalone consideration, but it is something that we look at. And we also look to see who has been saving for college themselves. So that's something else that I think is important and that we want to help with for those that are, embarking on that.
Absolutely. They're trying to save to make sure there's enough. So tell us a little bit about our current queen now, Sophia. What is she doing in the fair? What is she showing this week? And I'm sure she was incredibly excited. We saw pictures. All the girls were absolutely stunning and beautiful. So I don't know how you were able to choose one, but
I know I'm glad I'm not a judge. So she, and it's really refreshing because this was Sophia's first pageant. So I think that just really speaks to how our program prepares these young ladies, to feel comfortable in an interview setting and to feel comfortable on stage and to really own, what we want them to share with not just the judges, but with the audience and the world. So she is currently preparing for the Sears show tonight because as the fair queens, they all help out and support the livestock arena, which is one of our busier areas of the fair. But they'll also be helping with the stage area. They got to be VIPs for the Sawyer Brown concert that we had as headliners this past Sunday. And really just enjoying themselves. They get to go on all the rides. They're truly like the fair VIPs for the week, Sophia and the rest of our top 5 girls. So they'll get their fair share of public speaking and helping to, announce winners of those respective shows and announcing folks that'll be on our community stage. They'll also get to take part in the circus, as well as they have some smaller like infield acts that they'll get to participate in and just help out with. So
how fun is
that's
that?
What they have to look forward to.
So the ambassadorship starts right away.
Oh, it does. And she'll be in over like 150 photos this weekend when it comes time for the livestock auctions, because we take photos of all of the exhibitors with their project buyers. And so she'll be in all of those photos. And
it's very important and very, very prestigious. And congratulations. I'm sure it's very tough. And do you help coach the girls ahead of time, about their public speaking skills, about how to answer questions, or do they sign an application and this is the process? The next step is interviews.
Well, no, we like to feel that we're preparing them for it so that they can be comfortable and so that it can be a fun experience for them. And so each night leading up to the pageant, we do have rehearsals. They are mostly comprised of dance rehearsals because as the icebreaker and the opener to our pageant, they do a really fun opening number. So it's nothing that they're judged on, but it's really just to kind of get the nerves out and to have a good time and really kick it off in a fun way. So this year, being Valentine's, we chose You're the One That I Want from Greece.
Oh, cute.
So they all, looked the part. So they rehearsed the dance, but they all picked that up very quickly. So it allowed for us to take time to talk about interviewing and to address, not just what to expect in our interview, but in a real world interview, everything from just, what to wear, what to expect to answer, and just to be on all the time.
Eye contact and all that good stuff.
So we're proud to, to feel as though that we're preparing them not just to do well and to have fun with our pageant, but, for future, pageant aspirations, but as well as, job opportunities.
Right. It's very important. And I'm sure there's some young gals in the audience that are saying, next year I'm going to be old enough. So when do you start taking applications?
So we will start taking applications for the 2021 Miss Martin County Fair pageant, probably around October, November of this year.
October,
So-
November. So this fall, start looking for it.
Yeah.
And as you said, you go through the schools, so they should probably have
Yes.
some morning through there.
Yep.
And that's all schools in the county. So I think that's really wonderful. 4-H, you don't have to be a 4-H member to participate.
No,
this
not
is
at
for all
all.
our youth here in the county.
Yes.
So E.J. Dwayne, I really appreciate you coming in here this afternoon. She is a former Martin County Fair pageant winner and now the pageant coordinator. So
Thanks
very
for
important
having me.
job. And well, absolutely, we appreciate it. And folks, again, please get out, visit the fair. This is so much fun. This is the fair week. This is the week all the 4-Hers really work for all year to showcase all of their wonderful projects. And again, last time in Stewart, this is the time to make that historic visit to the Martin County Fair, held the last time in Stewart. Next year, it's moving out to Indiantown. And again, tonight, veterans, as a thank you to you, the fair is the first 250 veterans. You got to prove you're a veteran. Will get in free and also be entered to a barbecue. And that is sponsored by Humana from 6 to 8 p.m. this evening. So hope to see you at the fair. Thank you again, E.J. Dwayne.
Thank you.